Well, the answer to that was yes, absolutely. I made it finally to Gibraltar, which was the destination that I envisaged reaching last year. Unfortunately, we had a few hurdles on the way down to Gibraltar. So let's have a recap of just how this adventure started. So 2 years ago, I decided to purchase a sailboat. The sailboat's purpose was to buy a sailboat, do it up in the UK, and then sail it down to the Mediterranean, where we could use the boat for family holidays. Sea Star Pier head?
Yes, go ahead.
Am I okay to enter?
Okay to enter.
We kept the boat at Fleetwood, where we started to do some upgrades, from electrics to interiors of the boat, new toilets, new spray hood, and just some slight repairs to sails and different components on the boat. Just getting the boat ready really for the trip down to the Mediterranean, which I would be doing solo to Brest in France, and then taking Patrick Lane on board to cross the Bay of Biscay to A Coruña. From A Coruña, I headed solo down the coast past some beautiful anchorages and some lovely ports, exploring as I went down the coast, knowing that there is a chance or a risk of an orca encounter. Now, if you're new to the channel and you don't know about orca encounters, the orcas down the Galician and Portuguese coast, all the way down to Gibraltar in the last 5 years, have been attacking sailboat rudders. This is very dangerous, some of them breaking, some of the boats sinking, so a huge risk to undertake sailing down that coastline. But I decided to do it anyway. Unfortunately, on the way down to Gibraltar, just south of Porto, in between Porto and Figueira da Foz, I did get struck by 3 orcas. It wasn't a pleasant experience and not something that I'd want to go through again, but the orcas damaged one side of the rudder, which you'll see on the video, and also it took me an extremely long time to get this rudder replaced, over 9 months, so it kind of wrote off 2025 and the season that we wanted to get the boat down to Gibraltar. Unfortunately, we had another incident in the marina where a trimaran capsized and fell onto the front of Sea Star. It did a little bit of damage to the pulpit, the stainless steel work at the front of the boat, which I repaired, and also damaged some of the front Genoa sail, which I've still to get repaired. Sadly, the other boat's insurance didn't cover it, and it was classed as an act of God from their insurance, which was not great. But anyway, needed to continue, so got things fixed and finally set sail from Figueira da Foz, hugging the coastline within the 20-meter line, which they recommend to keep away from the orcas, but still there is a risk. Now, due to the depth constraints and things going down from here and trying to avoid orcas, sailing wasn't great. There was a lot of motor sailing going on to get the boat down there, but it was enjoyable. Now, on the way down, I stayed in a lot of marinas just for 1 or 2 days. Didn't really anchor in any coves or bays going down due to the weather, but it was really enjoyable. Great to see some of the coast of Portugal as I headed down and around the corner onto the Algarve coast. The marinas were really nice on the way down. There was one marina just here where I had to raft up next to another boat, which wasn't the most ideal situation, and that was in Sesimbra, where they have one pontoon for visiting boats. I shouted over, I think it was 25-30 knots of wind at this point, and this kind gentleman off another boat helped me raft up next to a boat that I never met the owner of. But yeah, it was all good. I stayed one night and then managed to head off next day and continue the journey south towards Gibraltar. The journey as I mentioned, was within the 20-meter line. There was some instances where I had to go around tuna nets, which took me around 55 to 56 meters on some occasions, which wasn't ideal, to be honest, with the amount of ORCA attacks that go on in those depths. And yeah, the orcas, just to let you know, have been attacking boats for 5 years along this coast. I kept in touch with orcas.pt, a guy called Rui that runs the site, and I kept updated on the latest attacks on sailboats. There has been less attacks this year. I'm not sure whether that is because of sailboats not going out. I spoke to a lot of Portuguese and Spanish sailors on the way down, and a lot of them just weren't using their sailboats because of the dangers and impacts that could happen to their boats. A few of them opted to think about taking their boats to the Med or getting someone to deliver them so they can enjoy it for holidays like we're doing. And a few actually said to me they were thinking of selling their boats due to this problem. It is a big problem, and hopefully we'll understand why one day, why they attack sailboat rudders. I know it's meant to be just a playful thing, but it really puts your life in danger when potentially they could sink your boat. The only thing that I took on the journey from Figueira da Foz onwards was the only thing that I personally think will deter them in the event that you see orcas. Just throw a firecracker into the water, which will scare them off. So I took 10 firecrackers down with me to get me to my final destination, and just a little bit of reassurance that I had something on board that could deter them should I see any orcas on the journey. And finally, I reached Gibraltar after many days in lovely marinas and making my way down the coast. Would I do it again? Probably not, if I'm honest. The boat will live in the Med now for the next 3 or 4 years while we use her, and after that, when we're all finished with her, I'll probably sell her. But it was lovely to get into Gibraltar. This here is coming into Ocean Village Marina, where I stopped for 2 nights before moving round to La Linea. And this marina, obviously, because the boat is British, you have an 18-month temporary import on the boat when you take it from UK to Europe. So yeah, Gibraltar is a great place to reset the 18-month clock on the boat. And it was a lovely surprise, actually. I really enjoyed Gibraltar, and all of the nice shops and restaurants, and obviously it's you know, duty-free place, so that was great. So finally here, the boat's all tied up and secure now in Gibraltar, and we are looking forward to adventures moving forward. So yeah, if you followed the journey down, I'm sorry it's taken so long to get down with all of the orca attacks and problems we've had. I didn't expect us to get hit by orcas, but there was 130 odd attacks last year, with many more sightings. Hopefully this will reduce. I don't know why it's happening, but I'm just so happy to get the boat to Gibraltar. So if you've enjoyed the channel so far and you're not a subscriber, I appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel and give the videos a like. Feel free to comment. Happy to come back with any answers to any questions that you've got. And yeah, we look forward to sharing more family journeys and holidays as we go around the Med with Sea Star moving forward.